And with that, viewers, we will quickly now take you through one of the most crucial topics that we, in fact, know will be discussed between Prime Minister Modi and President Vladimir Putin. This is India's crude oil imports. Let's quickly take you through the import data first that we have from a Kepler report for the month of November before we proceed with how the discussion, or rather what is the major points of discussion when we speak of this very subject. If we speak of Russia, it's at 38%. That is, India importing 38% of its entire crude oil requirements from Russia. Next comes Iraq, which stands at 20%. Saudi Arabia is at 14%. UAE is at 11%. United States is here at 7%, while the rest of the other nations that contribute to India's crude oil imports is at 10%. But yes, of course, even now we see Russia standing at 38%. But when we speak of that, let's take you to our next data that we bring to you, which is with regards to a fall, or whether there is a fall in the crude oil imports from Russia at this given point. Again, this is from a Kepler report itself that we are bringing to you. It's accounted for 38% of the total crude oil import in November, which we just in fact showed to you in terms of data and numbers that's come in. Again, that surged to a 5-month high due to the front loading. That is what we in fact have learnt. US sanctioned Lukoil Rosneft from November 21st. So the sanctions have been playing a crucial role at this given point when we speak. But of course, India has stuck to its own India first policy. That is, whatever in fact benefits India in terms of the consumption of Indians, they will stick to that very plan in terms of acquiring crude oil. December imports are likely to fall by nearly half. This is the prediction that we are looking at that's coming in, taking into account all the global factors that's playing a part, and also the current equation that's in fact been struck with Russia in terms of importing crude oil from them. Again, December imports seen at 1 Mbpd versus a 1.9 Mbpd in the month of November. So that is a change as well in numbers that we are seeing at this given point, which in fact is also helping us base our equation, or rather the prediction of sorts, or an analysis of sorts rather, one might say, that there might be a fall, or whether there might be a fall in the crude oil imports that's coming in from Russia. And as we speak, viewers, this is a big visit that's awaiting, that India awaits at this given point when we speak of the Russian president coming to India. Prime Minister Narendra Modi and the Russian President Vladimir Putin have met each other 17 times in just the past 11 years. India and Russia have indeed shared historic ties for decades now. Whether it's astronaut training or bilateral trade boost, Prime Minister Modi and President Putin have stood by each other for more than a decade now. With the Russian president's visit to India exactly 5 years after his last visit back in the year 2021, this bond now promises to only grow stronger from here. Let's take a look at this report.
It's a dosti built over a period of 11 years, cemented with cooperation and mutual understanding. What has been a traditional international friendship took a leap forward with the confidence of two strong leaders, Narendra Modi and Vladimir Putin. Moscow and New Delhi always stand by each other.
We share very good and positive relations with Prime Minister Modi. He's a very wise man, and India has been making great strides in its development under his leadership. So this fully meets the interests of both India and Russia to work on this agenda.
When the world cornered Russia over the Ukraine invasion and Moscow needed to survive economically, New Delhi, while condemning the war, bought oil from them as it was cheap and suited Indian interests. Despite worldwide criticism, India stood its ground.
When oil prices go up, I think it's natural for countries to go out into the market and look for what are good deals for their people. But I am pretty sure if we wait 2 or 3 months and actually look at who are the big buyers of Russian gas and oil, I suspect the list won't be very different from what it used to be, and I suspect we won't be in the top 10 on that list.
Deputy National Security Advisor was just in India recently in the last few weeks, conveying clearly what the consequences of violating sanctions would be and what the mechanisms are, and also making clear that that we do not think India should accelerate or increase imports of Russian energy and other commodities, even as obviously those decisions are made by individual countries.
In the past 11 years, Prime Minister Narendra Modi and Russian President Vladimir Putin have met each other 17 times. Narendra Modi's first visit as the Prime Minister of India to St. Petersburg way back in 2017 was an emotional one. He remembered his visit to the Russian city as the Gujarat Chief Minister in 2001.
साल 2001 में जब ऐसा समिट पहली बार रूस में हुआ था, तब मेरे मित्र पुतिन रूस के राष्ट्रपति थे और मैं अटल जी के साथ उस समय के हमारे प्रधानमंत्री गुजरात के मुख्यमंत्री के तौर पर भारत के डेलीगेशन में आया था। राष्ट्रपति पुतिन की और मेरी राजनीतिक सहयात्रा के दौरान दोनों देशों की दोस्ती और सहयोग का सफर तेजी से आगे बढ़ा है।
Министр культуры Российской Федерации Владимир Ростиславович Митинский.
St. Petersburg Declaration of 2017 became the benchmark of stability in a turbulent, independent and interconnected world. A year later, the President of the Russian Federation, Vladimir Putin, met Prime Minister of India, Narendra Modi, for the 19th edition of the annual bilateral summit in New Delhi on October 4th and 5th in 2018.
The relationship between India and Russia needs no special introduction. It has very deep roots.
In 2019, when the two met again, the Indian Prime Minister had just ensured his second term. At Vladivostok, for the 5th Eastern Economic Forum, both leaders noted progressive development of the special and privileged strategic partnership between India and Russia.
भारत और रूस के बीच में संबंधों का सवाल है, वो हर क्षेत्र में फला फूला है। भारत का ऑयल एंड गैस के क्षेत्र में इन्वेस्टमेंट है, रशिया की कंपनियों का भी खास करके टेक्नोलॉजी ट्रांसफर, डिफेंस मैन्युफैक्चरिंग, एनर्जी के क्षेत्र में अभी अभी इन्वेस्टमेंट हुआ है। तो हम दोनों देशों के बीच में ऐसी कोई रुकावटें नहीं है।
Russian President Vladimir Putin came calling again in December 2021. The two leaders gave impetus for sustained progress in the special and privileged strategic partnership between both countries despite the challenges posed by the COVID pandemic.
हमारी स्ट्रेटेजिक पार्टनरशिप के 2 दशक पूरे हो रहे हैं। इस विशेष वर्ष में आपके साथ फिर मिल पाना मेरे लिए हर्ष की बात है, क्योंकि हमारी स्ट्रेटेजिक पार्टनरशिप में पिछले 20 वर्षों में जो उल्लेखनीय प्रगति हुई है, उसके मुख्य सूत्रधार आप ही रहे हैं। विभिन्न सेक्टरों में आज हुए हमारे समझौतों से इसमें मदद मिलेगी। मेक इन इंडिया कार्यक्रम के तहत को डेवलपमेंट और को प्रोडक्शन से हमारा रक्षा सहयोग और मजबूत हो रहा है।
Within months of this meeting, Russia invaded Ukraine and the war still continues. But it did not impact the relations India and Russia have built over decades. Neither did it impact the bonhomie enjoyed by the two leaders. In September 2022, Prime Minister Narendra Modi met Russian President Vladimir Putin in Samarkand, Uzbekistan, on the sidelines of the 22nd meeting of the Shanghai Cooperation Organization to discuss important issues of bilateral cooperation as well as regional and global issues of interest like the global food security, energy security and availability of fertilizers. Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi kicked off his third term with a trip to Russia for the 22nd Indo-Russian Annual Summit in July 2024. New Delhi and Moscow signed 9 MOUs and agreements in several sectors, including trade, climate and research.
मैंने तय किया है कि मैं तीसरे टर्म में 3 गुना ज़्यादा मेहनत करूंगा और मैं देश के लिए और अच्छे काम करने का प्रयास करूंगा।
आपने अपना पूरा जीवन जनता को समर्पित किया है और जनता ये जानते हैं।
मेरा वन लाइफ वन विजन है मेरा देश।
Prime Minister Modi made 4 visits to Russia during his first term, but in his second term it was only once. Whereas the Russian president in past 11 years has come to India thrice. Twice in the first term of Prime Minister Modi and once in the second term. Vladimir Putin's 4th November visit to New Delhi will be his 4th visit to India in past 11 years, marking a deeper bond between the two countries in Modi 3.0. Bureau Report, India Today.